repeat after me if you're ready. I am tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. I am grounded, I am awake, and I am a living example of all that is good. And I love my life. So it is. Amen and amen. And the first thing I'm doing is bending over for the camera. I'm really thirsty, so I turned into a piece of sandpaper there. Happy Easter. I've been really excited about the service, and I don't know that the talk will be in the excitement of what I am with this. But this is that moment of where Jesus is teaching us that life continues to exist. And you know, for generations and thousands of years, early Christians, and many still do, believe that up until the moment of Jesus, there was no life after death, that we just went poof unless God chose us. And in unity, that's not a belief. Unity is that we've always been created. We always will be part of that, right? But what Jesus was teaching us about giving us the life, and so that we could have life more abundantly, it wasn't about following him as the man down the road, right? It's about following those teachings. And in the resurrection, he came back to show us as proof that the essence of who we are continues to exist. It doesn't go away. That there is reincarnation. And I started saying Edgar Casey, but I mean Charles Fillmore. Charles Fillmore really loved to talk about reincarnation. But he wasn't obsessed with lifetimes or coming back in another life. He loved that this idea that each moment we get to start over. Each moment we can choose to be born again, to be created again, to say, I've been living out of alignment and I don't like it. And I'm going to start over. And that I am tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. That's from Abraham Hicks. But that's the truth of who we are when we allow ourselves to be in that space of heaven, okay, in the universe, in the kingdom within. The kingdom is within us, not outside of us. We are part of that. But we are not in alignment to it when we are focused on our worry, when we're focused on our pain, when we're focused on our poverty, when we're focused on what's next and what's next and what's next, and I've got to do something, I've got to do something. We have a really hard time of letting go of the control and letting Spirit, letting God take the lead. And here's the thing, we are creators, right? We believe that in unity, that we are creators, right? And where we're at now is because of whatever we've created. And if we are in pain or panic, it's because we've been running in that vibration of pain or panic. It's not about having to go in. So sometimes in those spiritual circles that we get in, we feel like we have to find the source and the moment that something we did created the pain or the physical ailment or whatever's going on in our life so we can heal that. Are you with me? However, if we're focused on that, we're not healing it at all. We're in the misery of that, and we're in the vibration of having more of that. This is allowing yourself to know that in this moment, you are perfect. You are healed. You can step into your true beingness of all that is. It's not finding the old story. And we like to do that. We like to tell those stories over and over again. We like to share them. from 1942 to whatever, and we'll keep them going. And it's in my DNA because the curse has been following my family. It's in my DNA. Well, then forgive whoever did it. And it's like grace is about stop trying to find the reason and the reason for the punishment. The punishment or the contrast, so let's use that word, the pain. The contrast is saying to us clearly, I don't like this. I don't want this. I don't want to be here. Right? That's what it's telling us. And so we have, and again, it's vibrating through us. I don't want to be here. I don't like this. This is a good thing. Okay, I don't like it. Let me change it. But we think, but I have to go backwards. I have to go backwards. I can't moonwalk, right? I do it, but I have to go and find it. How many lifetimes ago? What's going to help me and what's going to heal me? Now, if that's something that you like to do and you like to do past life regression and that opens something for you, then let it open something for you. What I'm trying to tell us is that it's what we're choosing to do now and what are we wanting to align to. And to take that moment when we're in that contrast. And you guys, if you read the newsletter, you read the cruise story, right? Right, and I'm saying, I was so good at creating this because I was staying in that story and I was like there, right? And I share that with you so that what? That, yeah, I do it too, right? That I'm not on this pedestal and above you looking down. It's not like that. I'm having these day-to-day experiences that we're all having. But it's, again, realizing, wow, I am not tapped in, tuned in, and turned on. I am worried. I keep looking at my bank account like the number is going to change. I keep trying to figure out what day I should buy the lottery ticket on that it'll have the magic number. I keep looking, because I can't afford, I can't have. I don't know why I keep feeling bad. I don't know why I'm depressed. Don't stop worrying about it. And this is like, so what does this have to do with the resurrection? Everything, because we don't have to keep resurrecting the past. We can resurrect our life. Our life. We are here to be creators. We are here to have good. We are here to have joy. We are here to have experiences. I mean, how many times have you heard and maybe you've been one of the people to say it, well, if there's reincarnation, I'm not coming back. There's no way. Well, and I say, well, if there is, I like it. Life is juicy. I like chocolate and sex. I'm coming back. Because I like the engagement of life. I really, truly do. And I'm not afraid to live it. I'm not afraid to be in it. I'm not afraid. Once you really get to know Rick and I for a long time, you'll find that we're pretty fearless. Like, we do things that people would never dream of doing. Because we trust that inner guidance. We trust that intuition. And I mean, like, how many people do you know that the husband would come and say, hey, this camping trip that we're going on with a couple of our kids, I want you to think about, and that trip was like in a week or 2 weeks coming up, I want you to think about, what if we sold everything and bought an RV and lived in that and traveled? Oh, I'm good with that. No, what? I'm waiting for an argument. Wait, I don't have to defend it. That's what he's saying. I don't have to explain. No, I kind of been thinking that might be a fun adventure. What? And we go on this adventure. We come back and we decide that we want to do it. And in the mail, that day after we get home, there's a card about a guy saying, I want to buy your house and I'll pay cash. And I don't know if that was a Tuesday or whatever. And so we talked about it, and I called him. I says, well, it's like we'll say yes or we'll say no, right? And so he came on Thursday, and we had a house, but we also had a little cottage in the back, which we were running for an Airbnb. And this was like, I think it was the first part of April. It might have been almost towards the end of March. It could have been an April or March time frame. But that Airbnb was already booked through September. So he knew he was getting something. He was getting money that was already there. We made triple what we paid for the house. Yeah, right? Now, we bought the house on auction. That doesn't matter. We got triple, right? We got our RV and we went on. But people are like, what? But this all happened in 30 days. In 30 days, right? And so, but a lot of people's like, what are you doing? Why are you going to store your stuff? And my mother was funny. You're going to store your stuff because I couldn't deal with them. No, we're getting rid of everything. If it doesn't fit in here, it doesn't go. So we got rid of everything. And we had people were bidding on my stuff or my artwork. It was kind of fun. But we trusted. And then when it was time for it to be over, it was over. Right? And so it's like we follow that impulse. We follow that intuition, because that intuition was not just created out of Rick's mind from nowhere. It was divine inspiration. It wasn't created for me to go with it out of nowhere. It was divine inspiration, and I trusted that. We trusted that, and we went with it. I mean, how many of you are going to hire a minister that's going to say, hey, pick me and I'll drive 7 hours one way and back? You know? I mean, but we trusted that this is the way that we wanted to play this out for the time being, right? We trusted this. And it's as we move forward in our day-to-day life and as a spiritual community and as a city and as a state and as a world, the more that we step into trusting and reawakening our divinity and allowing ourselves to be that light, the peace comes into play. The peace comes into play. But it's not about Jesus the man, right? It's Jesus was teaching us how to tap into the Christ, our divine essence of God, of the universe. And when we talk about, and to me, this is again going in that resurrection state, right? When they talk about the second coming, and, you know, God will cast out the devil, and there'll be 144,000 people to get to heaven. That's it. You know? That's it. So if you're not in that book, you know. So, you know, it's like, whose interpretation are we on, right? But what that awakening is about is when each of us tap into our higher self, when we tap into the universe, when we tap into the divine and say, Spirit, I am letting you lead. I am giving you free reign. I am putting faith over fear. And I'm going to say this. It came to me the other day as I was working on this. Fear is not a prophecy. Fear is a hold from living past experiences. Fear is not a prophecy. Fear is we're holding on to past experiences. It's not letting us move forward. But when we each engage, and when we get a percentage of that humanity that is in that state of love and that tolerance and that allowance and being kind to your neighbor and being in unity, we will have the second coming, because the Christ consciousness will be more awake. And that is what gets rid of the disconnect. That gets rid of, you know, I can say the devil, gets rid of the negativity, because we are living from the state of love. And I'm going to invite you to really, really take this week to love who you are, to love your light, to love your uniqueness, to love who you are, because you are not a mistake. You are not a mess up. You see, I did that without any bad words. You are. I'm doing so good. You are already divine, and you are a creator. And so, instead of thinking about what I'm not creating, Because if we think about, I'm asking for it, I'm asking for it, and I'm not getting it, I'm asking for it, I'm asking for it, I'm not getting it, I'm asking for it, I'm asking for it, I'm not getting it, I'm following, I'm doing all those things that she says about saying affirmations, and I'm saying prayers, and I'm doing all this, and it's not working, God's not showing up, and it ain't happening. Because you are in the energy of it's not happening. And so it's again saying, wow, that's where I am. So I'm going to choose. I don't want to think those thoughts. I don't want to believe those. I'm willing to start to see things differently. I'm willing to go do something that makes me feel good. I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to pet my cat. I'm going to call a girlfriend. I'm going to make lasagna, whatever that is. But it's giving yourself that opportunity to feel good. But you are, each and every one of you are already perfect. You're already whole. You're not broken. You don't have anything to fix. You just have to be willing to say yes to life. Yes to the intuition. Yes to the internal guidance, to that compass. Because you are a light in the world. And your light enhances the light in the world and casts out a shadow somewhere.